The multitasker from TECHNE, the crane for accident recovery. Rail is one of the safest modes of transportation throughout the world. But even here, accidents cannot be completely prevented. Routes are blocked. Cargo and passenger traffic comes to a halt. Economic consequences loom. That's why rescue plans have to be implemented to make the track safe and restore it quickly for train traffic. Even in areas with difficult access, damaged rolling stock such as locomotives and cars must be removed cautiously, so they can be repaired with as little expense as possible. We developed the TECHNE multitasker to meet these demands. It is the only heavy lifting tool that allows the operator to lift precisely even the heaviest loads in the shortest amount of time at any location on the railway network. The multitasker convinces with its fast operational setup, its high performance, and its extraordinary maneuverability in the track area. The multitasker is quickly ready for operation. At up to 100 km per hour in train formation, the crane reaches each accident site directly without delay. As a railway crane, it can be used if there are no access roads nearby, or if the underground does not allow the operation of truck-mounted cranes. A decisive time advantage in clearing accidents in areas with difficult access. Thanks to very short setup times, the multitasker can be ready for use on site extremely quickly. The counterweights are placed directly on the crane or on the attached cars and can be set up with the push of a button. The multitasker guarantees maximum work performance. With a lifting capacity of up to 250 tons and a load moment of up to 2,800 TM, there is virtually no rolling stock in global rail traffic that the multitasker can't lift. Its high dead weight and the high load moment give it an unrivaled advantage over other cranes. The multitasker can lift heavy loads precisely and safely using the long radius of the telescopic boom. This is critical if wreckage is lying on an adjacent track or if long parts need to be lifted straight up. And it provides a major advantage when compared to road-going cranes, which can only lift heavy loads within a smaller radius. The multitasker adapts flexibly to the circumstances of the operation site. Its double slewing ring allows the crane to slew the boom separately from the rear part of the superstructure by up to 30 degrees. The counterweight remains positioned in the direction of the track. Traffic on the adjacent track is not negatively impacted. This profile-free working prevents route closures and minimizes costs incurred from disruptions to the train traffic. The compact design and excellent maneuverability of the multitasker allow it to be used even in areas with limited space for work. It requires very little room, can work with the boom in horizontal position, and telescope with a load on the hook. This allows for the multitasker to function particularly well in restricted areas. The support concept of the crane also provides the greatest degree of flexibility. The supports are set hydraulically with the push of a button. They can be set individually, to one side, or diagonally, depending on need. This saves valuable time as propping operations are reduced to a minimum and allows perfect adaptation to the most varied requirements. For example, if there isn't enough space to set up all 4 supports. The multitasker works accurately and safely with just one support. In super elevated curves, the multitasker counterbalances on slopes up to 180 millimeters. In a curve or on an uneven track, the undercarriage is automatically leveled out over the bogie. The center of gravity of the crane remains in the middle of the track and the load capacity remains unaffected. When setting up, the bogie remains with the wheels on the track. The risk of derailment during this process is eliminated. The multitasker can travel with heavy loads. In comparison to older cranes, which often could only work with all supports deployed, there are now new options in accident recovery, primarily on single-track routes. It is also possible to drive with load, even on super elevated curves, without limitations. A hazardous center of gravity shift, which could tip the crane, is precluded, and the load need not be reduced when traveling on curved tracks. All of these are good reasons to choose the multitasker from TECHNE. The most important, however, is the satisfaction of our existing customers. Deutsche Bahn has trusted TECHNE railway cranes for more than 80 years and has updated their fleet with 5 new multitaskers. For Deutsche Bahn, this means maximum performance, multiple application options, and modern technology that is specifically tailored to their requirements. In cooperation with Deutsche Bahn, we developed support stackers that can be moved with the support arm to further speed up the process of setting the crane up and down. Thus, the support doesn't need to be set up again every time the crane is repositioned. Software developed by TECHNE determines the necessary number of supports for each load case and use, making work at the accident site more precise. The crane driver cabin is ergonomic and well-equipped. This includes easy access, a fully adjustable seat with the best possible view of the load, and computer-based control software that supports the driver, providing the highest possible level of safety. A newly installed winch allows for the recovered accident material to be pulled up, and movable headlamps ensure the best possible view of the lifting process even in the dark. This all makes clearing accident sites with the multitasker safer, faster, and more reliable. Damage and costs are minimized. The track is passable again for train traffic in the shortest time possible. Designed with the expertise of the world market leaders for railway cranes. The multitasker from TECHNE.